Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Tejendra Sharma, Professor, Department of Commerce, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. Today, we are going to discuss the topic Leadership Styles in India. After reading this lesson, you will be able to understand the concept of leadership styles and various diversified leadership styles to be opted by the leaders in India, along with finding out evidences of existence of various leadership styles from ancient India. In the present era, most of the work is done via team, that is, a group of persons, and to manage the team in an effective manner, selection of the right leadership style out of the various available leadership styles is very important. Leading a team in an effective and efficient manner consists of the responsibilities, and it requires on the part of the leader to come up with some of the efficient qualities to manage the teams. To lead a team effectively, a leader requires leadership style with him or her. An effective motivation and a proper influence over people helps the leader to compare the organizational goals without any conflicts or disputes. Further, it has been observed that many a times, due to the selection of a wrong leadership style, managers have to face various challenges, and it has a negative impact on the organizational performance, that is, reduced level of productivity, employee dissatisfaction, and dispute among various parties. The usual approach to analyze the behavior of a leader is to classify various types of leadership into leadership styles. Leadership styles refer to the ways by which a leader influences the others. These styles are used to measure the degree of control that the leader exercises in a group, and is also a tool to evaluate the behavior of the leader towards his or her followers. The styles vary on the basis of the duty to be performed, occasions, as well as the type of leaders and the followers. Most important thing to remember is that effective leaders adjust their styles of leadership to fit the needs of a particular situation and type of the organization. According to the philosophy of various leaders and their followers, the technique of leadership and their styles may be classified into the 6 categories: the autocratic leadership, or the authoritarian leadership, or the leader-centered leadership style. Second is the consultative or the participative or the democratic style. Then there is a laissez-faire or a free rein or individual-centered leadership style. Then there is bureaucratic or rule-centered leadership style. And we also have the manipulative leadership style. And also there is expert leadership style. In the first instance, management is generally believed to be opting for autocratic leadership style. That is, subordinates are closely supervised by their superiors, and only a limited or no degree of participation is allowed to the subordinates. But with the passage of time, other leadership styles also became evident in the practice, like participative leadership style. In this style, decision making is done after consultation with the followers and after ensuring their active participation in the decision making process. Free rein leadership style. The leader delegates the authority for decision making completely into the hands of the subordinates. That is, no leadership at all. Bureaucratic leadership style. Behavior of the leader is characterized by a high degree of dependence on rules, regulations, and procedures to which both the leader and the follower abide. Manipulative leadership style. Leadership style is based on the belief that employees are in possession of such a character which should be manipulated by the leader with the ultimate aim to achieve the organizational goals. And expert leadership style. That is, expert leadership is based on the knowledge and ability of the individual leader, and the role of the leader is assumed irrespective of his age, gender, and other attributes. Students, Indian leadership style can be studied only when we know the ethos of India. And ethos of India is contained in many of our ancient texts. There are some evidences from our texts which I would like to quote. Evidences from Mahabharata. Mahabharata is an epic narrative of ancient India, which is historic, cultural, and religious importance. However, this great epic is equally important from the perspective of leadership. Lord Krishna, the central character of Mahabharata, is an avatar of Lord Vishnu, who is very popular and respectable Hindu divinity with a high degree of intelligence, communication skills, affection, ability to influence others, and capability of resolving any crisis faced by his devotees. In the modern parlance, it can be said that Lord Krishna has acted as the greatest crisis manager the world has ever seen. It is evident from the epic Mahabharata that there are many diverse characters who are impressing upon us with their responses at the time of great challenges to be faced. However, Krishna, as a central character, came across as a master strategist, a thoughtful leader, adopting different leadership styles according to the type of people to be dealt with and the situations prevailing at a particular time. Some of the well-known, well-illustrated points explaining existing of various leadership styles in ancient India are discussed herein. Authoritative leadership style. Authoritative leadership style is evident from the fight between Bhim and Jarasandha. At the time of fight between Bhim and Jarasandha, Krishna and Arjun both are present there. Bhim and Jarasandha fight for days, and during that period, Bhim kills Jarasandha many times, but miraculously, Jarasandha's body recovers each time. Then Bhim looks at Krishna for direction. Lord Krishna knows the secrets of Jarasandha's birth and death, and accordingly, he provides the direction to the Bhima. That is, he picks up a stick, beating it into two halves, and throws the two halves in opposite directions far from each other. Bhima understands and does the same with the body of Jarasandha. That is, throws the two halves of Jarasandha's body in opposite directions far from each other and kills Jarasandha. This story depicts that Bhima is characterized by the personality of a human, which is sensitive, short-tempered in nature, but he couldn't be able to kill Jarasandha on his own. Here, Krishna uses the authoritative leadership style in an effective way to help Bhima to kill Jarasandha. Directive leadership style. During the Mahabharata war at Kurukshetra between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, Lord Krishna was the Sarathi of Arjuna's Rath. The war was about to start, but at the same time, Arjuna showed his reluctance towards the war, that is, his unwillingness to fight by seeing his own relatives on the other side. Arjuna was a sensitive person, but he was also a person with extreme thought, with a great sense of fulfilling duties and responsibilities. And Lord Krishna, by understanding the personality of Arjuna, uses the directive leadership style, that is, Bhagavad Gita, to persuade Arjuna to get started with the great war of Mahabharata. Influential leadership style. Influential leadership style is evident from the instance of Bhishma and Shikhandi. During the first 9 days of the great war Mahabharata, Kauravas' army was led by Bhishma Pitama, which causes a great damage to the Pandavas' army. Bhishma had a great personality, that is, a great warrior with a strong character and extreme human, along with persuasive nature, and also blessed with a boon, that is, choose the manner and time of death. But being a great supporter of Pandavas, Lord Krishna helped the Pandavas to tackle such a veteran personality, namely Bhishma, by taking Yudhishthira to Bhishma, who knows that Pandavas truly deserve to win the war. He tells Yudhishthira the secret to overcome him, that is, he would not aim his weapons at a woman. On the 10th day of the war, when Bhishma is confronted by Shikhandi, a transgender woman who had undergone a surgery to become a man, he refuses to consider him a man and throws down his bows and arrows and decides not to fight and tackles Bhishma. This story provides an instance of the influential leadership style in which Lord Krishna tackles Bhishma by making him the veteran general of the army front and a friend by using a very little mediation. Participative leadership style. The evidence of participative leadership style is found in the story of Drona and Ashwathama. Guru Drona was leading the Kauravas army and overwhelming the army of Pandavas. Lord Krishna realizes that the only way to tackle Drona was by exploiting his greatest weakness, that is his son Ashwathama. Here Lord Krishna uses Yudhishthira, very personification of truth and dharma, very cleverly. Lord Krishna tells the Pandavas that only way to kill Drona is to convey him the message that his son Ashwathama is dead. They know that Drona only believes on saying of Yudhishthira. Consequently, he takes up the responsibility and says that Ashwathama is dead, but it is an elephant and not your son. As and when Yudhishthira finished the first part of the sentence, that is Ashwathama is dead, Lord Krishna ordered Pandava's army to start a profound loud drum roll in such a manner that second part of the sentence, that is, but it is an elephant and not your son, did not fall into the ears of Guru Drona. By hearing the first part only, the second part of the sentence was not hearable. Guru Drona concluded that his son is dead, and being in a shocking state, he dropped his bows and weapons and detached his soul from his body via meditation. The story illustrates the existence and application of participative leadership style in ancient India. Students, we need to understand some of the characteristics of Indian culture. Indian people abide by the moral norms strictly, devoting themselves to the Almighty God, and encourage people to take active part in all kind of working practices to completely devote themselves to the particular job. Further, Indian culture is also characterized by certain special features. Collectivism. Indian culture is collectivist in nature. That is, there is a high preference for belonging to a larger social agenda in which the individuals are expected to act in such a manner that results or favors from a greater good of one's well-defined in-groups. The actions or decisions of the individual in India are influenced by various parties such as opinion of one's own family, extended family, neighbor, work group, peer group, and other such wider social networks that has any affiliation towards the particular person. Education structure. Education in India is provided by both public as well as private sector, with the control and funding from 3-tier levels: the central, state and the local level. Indian Constitution provides for free and compulsory education as a fundamental right to the children between the age group of 6 and 14. India's higher education system is the third largest education system in the world after China and United States. The main governing body of the education system in India at the tertiary level is the funding agency like University Grants Commission, which enforces its standards, advises the governments, and helps to coordinate between the center, state, right up to the postgraduate and the postdoctoral levels. Unity and harmony. Despite various cultural, social, and linguistic diversity which exists in the Indian culture, the basic unity of literary ideas, philosophy, outlook, conventions, and practices has prevailed all over the country. Irrespective of the differences in dress code, food, and other habits, there is found a strong evidence for traditional unity of India. For example, respect to superiors, elders, family bond, greeting by joining both hands, marriages, rites, etc. bear the same amount of unitary strength irrespective of the differences. Economic diversity. From the economic point of view, India also reflects a picture of diversity. During the ancient times, India has been a country of princes, bankrupt aristocrats, and middle class people, consisting of the type of people who are highly rich and others who are highly poor. On the other hand, India has also possessed some of the richest people of the world. On one hand, we have millions of Indian people who are living the below poverty line and are struggling daily for 2 square meals. Crores of Indians live below those poverty lines, and it is this economic diversity which is a characteristic of the Indian system. Family structure. Indian culture has a fundamental tradition of joint family structure. Joint family structure or an extended family structure exists when the extended family of parent, children, and children's spouses and descendants live together under one roof. Generally, the oldest male member of the family is considered as the head of the joint Indian family, and all important decisions are taken by him. Other family members are likely to abide by the decisions taken by the family head. Socio-cultural diversity. Indian culture is characterized by a lot of variation in its physical structure, racial structure, and languages, which has a great influence over the dress code, food habits, social customs, and beliefs of the people residing at different places, having variations in one or the other way. Thus, people of India differ considerably from each other in the social practices, and cultural diversities exist from state to state. Linguistic diversity. Linguistic diversity is another important feature of Indian culture. As per the Linguistic Survey of India, India possesses 179 languages and 544 dialects. These languages and dialects are spoken by the people belonging to different regions and different races of the Indian culture. So students, with this background, let us try to understand the Indian leadership styles. Which managerial style is to be adopted for a particular organization depends on a number of factors which are related to superiors, subordinates, and the situations. Similarly, which leadership style is to be adopted also depends on various factors including the type of organization as its first priority. However, it is highly unlikely to expect a uniform leadership style for all kinds of organizations. From the point of view, Indian organizations can be classified into three, each type of which has some distinctive features, as a result of which they adopt different leadership styles. Such a classification of the organizations under Indian perspective may be as follows: the family managed traditional organizations, professionally managed Indian organizations, foreign owned organizations, public sector organizations. And on the basis of classification of the Indian organizations, the leadership styles to adopt it are as follows: leadership styles adopted for family managed organizations, leadership styles for professionally managed Indian organizations and foreign owned organizations, and leadership styles for the public sector organizations. Leadership styles for family managed traditional organizations. In family managed traditional organizations, the most prevalent style is the autocratic leadership style. Sons and grandsons of the entrepreneurs are automatically promoted to the post of managing director, CEO, or other decision making posts without any consideration of their capability and efficiency or the overall suitability level for the same post. Thus, there exists a management by inheritance or management by DNAs, which results into the existence of such organizations that are highly centralized in context of the organizational culture. In such a kind of organizations, a high quantum of paternalistic attitude prevails. The paternalistic attitude makes him the head of the family and also develops a set of values in the employer in relation to his employees. At the initial stage, authoritarian leadership style is more suitable, but with the passage of time and due to the changes witnessed in the business environment, such style has to be inherited by the successors with the provision of adjustment towards any appreciable change of modification. Then we have the leadership style for the professionally managed Indian organizations and foreign owned organizations. There are many organizations in the private sector owned by the Indians or by the multinationals that have applied successfully an appreciable degree of participation or the democratic leadership style. The reason is that multinationals not only bring their technology but also bring their work culture, which is more accommodating and contributing towards the application of modern approach towards management. As a result, the degree of participation is greater in such organizations. Leadership styles of public sector organizations. The third category of the organizations that prevail in the Indian context are the public sector organizations. Public sector organizations are bureaucratic. They have got the bureaucratic leadership style, and it is more widespread in the public sector organizations due to the work culture inherited in such organizations by the public sector managers. Originally, public sector organizations were operated by the civil servants who brought a lot of bureaucratic culture into them. The ultimate outcome of this is that the whole organizational processes are governed by the bureaucratic model. The consequences are status differentials, class distinctions, and impersonal relationships, which completely goes against the participative leadership style. So students, I would like to summarize what we have learnt in this module now. The most valuable quality of any great organization is the quality of people working there. And this quality mainly depends upon the type of leadership. As leaders can grab the opportunity and use it in a proper way to attain the level of excellence, a crucial factor is the exercise of leadership in its adaptability towards change. As a result of continuous and mandatory process for ensuring the survival of an organization for a long period. So, it is 100% possible that a particular leadership style may not be suitable in all type of situations and time periods due to changing business environments. The style that worked yesterday may not work tomorrow, but the leader may become familiar with previous leadership style. Thus, it takes time for a leader to identify the right style of leadership in changing business scenario. In the Indian context, before discussing the leadership style, business environment in India needs to be studied carefully. Indian business environment has seen a lot of makeover from a mix of government-owned companies and private family-owned companies, many of which have survived the government licenses due to inflow of multinational companies, and a lot of Indian companies are running as professional companies due to privatization, liberalization, and globalization. All these changes witnessed in current business environment has led to a change in the leadership styles. Change in leadership styles and adoption of different leadership styles according to particular situations or people can be faced is an important area in which the Indian companies should invest their time and energy. At the last, it can be concluded that human beings are the most valuable assets of an organization, and if leaders take initiative to adopt such leadership styles that ensure their effective participation, then the organization would definitely be able to achieve its objectives. Thank you.